somehow, I'm not happy with this kind of, lectures. I would have loved to give it on the Google Meet, but I will still try again. I don't know whether we are getting it or not. Azim Premji of Wipro in 2000 had said a statement that population growth is not a problem if we make our young globally skilled. So all the young students are waiting for education, skills, employment, and they can only get through digital transformation, and the online transformation can solve the resources more meaningful. India is outpacing the developed nations in the total gross enrollment ratio. If we see that the GDP of India is in the next 15 years will be almost equal to the developed countries. So we have a growing force. By 2035, we will have more people which will be there in the mostly 60% in the age of 18 to 60, that is working group. The good part is that if we see the globally the online learning analysis, if we do this, the Coursera reaches itself 18 million learners worldwide. And the top Indian cities for online learning like Bengaluru, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, they are the top 10 cities. They are better than the worldwide, countries which are doing. The top countries who are doing good in online learning is number 1 is United States, number 2 is China, number 3 is India, and Brazil, United Kingdom, Mexico, Canada, etc. Another good part is that the India is number 2 in the countries with the highest number of internet users as on June 2019. There are about 560 million people in India who use the internet in a proper way. The e-learning market, if you see worldwide and if you see India is far ahead from the global market. The global market is reaching up to nearly 200 billion since till 2020, whereas the Indian market is about 30%. That is, the global e-learning market value is about CAGR is about 18%, whereas the India's digital learning market at CAGR is about 30%. And in this kind of growth is converted. If you convert this into the online learning, basically 15% is in higher education, 5% is for vocational education in manufacturing services, 52% in K-12 studies, and 28% in textbook and e-learning and allied services. So this is a big India market whereby education can take place. There is about 227 million students are enrolled in the higher education in India, which is the world's largest. We have about 36,000 institutes, higher education institutes. We have about coming back to the my thought. My concern is that the emergence of Industrial Revolution 4, what is going to happen for the education? And what will be the new avatar of the online education in India? The emergence of Industry 4, which is based on the use of cyber physical systems, is going to totally disrupt the employment and the economic system of the country. A new wave of global technology will change global production. Internationalization in all aspects of business and industry will be the norm. Countries can no longer remain confined with their borders, but must become citizens of the world. Leaders in this new era will need to be critical thinkers, problem solvers, and be able to interact across the globe. In short, they need to be liberally educated. But how should this impact on education? Future workers will need to be highly trained in the emerging technologies, but also as importantly in the values associated with using those technologies. The problems in future could not be the lack of employment, but the shortage of skills that the new jobs will demand. The big question is, how can education adapt to these demands in India? So there is a complete digital disruption is going to take place in the country. To assess, understand how technology can be leveraged and smartly integrated into teaching learning methodology, it should provide scalability, improving productivity, enhancing efficiency, enriching the teaching learning process, and boosting savings. You can see the online education system is growing very large in the world. The companies like Coursera, edX, Udemy, Khan Academy, they are now taken up, and most of them are unbundling the degrees. What I want to say is that our 3 years programs have no more values. They are making short-term courses like SPOCs and medals and 6 monthly or yearly nano degrees, which are being taken up by the top 100 world-class universities such as Illinois, Duke, Stanford, Penn University, and also they have interlinked with the industries like Google, like IBM, like Microsoft, like Amazon, and they are working in together in collaboration with one another. So they learn the latest skills, they get ready for a career, earn a certificate or degree, and they upskill their organization. In fact, the large companies like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft have themselves started shorter courses. And they are very, very smartly, they are taking the students who can do these works, and they just don't worry about that they are science students or they should know the high-end, technology or the computing or something like that. They want shorter programs like Go, like Python, like small programs like, they are doing it for cloud computing and, Java. So all these programs they are taking up and they are working on these. For example, in liberal arts, they take, trend analysis is very important nowadays when you do some kind of journalism or you do some kind of analysis. Trend analysis is very important, and that you need a very small part of Excel, advanced Excel you need to learn. So these are the things which are coming up, and they are getting higher and higher amount of money. The innovations and advances are omnipresent, led by strong emergence of fields like artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, autonomous vehicles, biotechnology, nanotechnology, 3D printing, material science, quantum computing, and energy storage. I should mention special attention is being given by the Government of India by starting new online universities under Online UGC Gazette 2018 and training programs in budget. You can see training programs which is already put in the budget of 2020 with provisions for 100 online universities. The impact of such breakthroughs is so rapid that the fourth industrial revolution is evolving at an exponential pace and disrupting almost every industry, and now even the budget 2020 of Government of India. The 6 drivers of change in workplace brought by the fourth industrial revolution and thereby the education required is for the extreme longevity. People are living longer. The changes are extreme longevity. You are becoming more ages. By 2025, the number of Americans with 60 age will be increased to 70%. There is a rise in smart machines and system. The tech can augment and extend our own capabilities. Workplace automation is killing repetitive jobs. Computational world, increasing in sensors and processing makes the world a programmable system. Data will give us the ability. So almost data analytics will be used in 70% of the programs. You should teach data analytics, and that will be required for the jobs in the future fourth industrial revolution jobs. The new media ecology, which is a new field, new communication tools require media literacies beyond text. So beyond text, you have to prepare visual communication media, which is becoming a new vernacular. You should have superstructured organization. Social technologies drive new forms of production and values creation. So social tools, as we are using this Facebook as a tool, are allowing organization to work at extreme scales. Globally connected world. The diversity and adaptability is at the center of operations. The United States and Europe no longer hold a monopoly on job creation, innovation, and political power. And here lies during the pandemic age, here lies the opportunity for the India to take over these things and to become a leader in the industrial sectors. The skills for tomorrow, which are needed for education and for the fourth industrial world, are basically ability to determine the deeper meaning or significance of what is being expressed. The sense making, the social intelligence, novel and adaptive thinking, cross-culture competencies, computational thinking, and the new media literacy, ability to critically assess and develop content that uses new media forms and to leverage these medias for persuasive communication. We have transdisciplinary literacy in an ability to understand concepts across multiple disciplines, design mindset, ability to present and develop tasks and work processes for desired outcomes, cognitive load management, ability to discriminate and filter information for importance. Virtual collaborations are the most important feature in the education and the job sector now. What is the aspiration of Generation Z? The Generation Z is defined as teenagers which are between the age of 13 to 19 currently. So these are our should be our new targets. They are growing up in a time so revolutionized by technology that it hardly resembles that of their parents and grandparents. So it is a totally different, feature. The industry is developing, technology is developing in a totally different way what it was earlier with their parents and grandparents. And this is just the generation that would be attending colleges in coming years. So the online education will need education. They have dreams for education, they have dreams for growth, and they have their own dreams. Now, a survey was conducted among these generations, and 3 aspirations came out strongly, which I tell you about the education. 22% of them expressed desire of relevant and meaningful education to equip them for job of the futures. 38% wanted a strong growth early enough in their careers. 32% wished most of their dreams to be filled within 10 years of their entering the new age of exciting careers. So, most of them want a meaningful education which should be linked to the jobs of the future. They want a early growth in their careers, and they wish that one-third of them wish that all their dreams will be filled within 10 years. So the time period is coming shorter now. Now, what are the changed habits of this generation from 13 to 19 age? Then there were few distractions, controllable in nature, TV, music. Now the ubiquitous mobile phone has changed the rules. Then we had reading habit inevitably developed at least to medium level. Now with video streaming, which I am doing, news, shorts and Twitters, anything over a paragraph is daunting. Then hands-on parental involvement in learning, now drastically reduced. Institution inundated with more responsibility, and they are self-learners. Homogeneous education experience across institutions, now different models of teaching across schools and colleges, distracting for the average student. Clearly drawn career paths, boundaries across disciplines blurred. So this big change is that earlier we had a clear drawn careers like engineering, like medical, but now there are careers whose boundaries are blurred now. Then limited most reliable formally published information. Now information is overloaded in the web, often unverified, often deliberately inaccurate. You had face-to-face interaction at that generation. Now you have virtual interaction dominant. At that time, appreciation was rare, mainly earned through significant effort and achievement. Now, appreciation is ubiquitous, leading to skewed perceptions of self. I will tell you that there is a site like Reimagine the online learning, and there they give you the awards on the innovative processes which you involve for the online learning. Similarly, the International Council of Distance Education now gives you a lot of awards for individuals and groups in such cases. And smart technology also, like campus technology, gives lots of awards like this. Now there is a need for Education 4 framework, that is a society of 21st century which may be called as innovation society. India में बोलते हैं ना जुगाड़, those जुगाड़ can be converted to innovations. How to build the undergraduate program in context of V4, Education 4 and the 4th Industrial Revolution. It's very important. The Delhi University had started a learning outcome course framework. It was totally on an online system. The whole process ended in 3 months, and the whole syllabus had come online and verified and worked by 3,500 teachers and more than 3,000 people from outside to give a meaningful required curriculum which actually is close to the jobs. So if you want to build an undergraduate program, you should have social emulsion, innovation and venture creations. You should have industry internships, learn by doing, practitioner's perspective. The future specializations will be mainly in financial analysis and technology, business analytics, digital marketing, supply chain, e-commerce, big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cyber security, blockchain and cryptocurrency. You can have core business studies / technology, and you should have liberal studies foundation and multidisciplinary inquiry. Now STEM and STEAM, science, technology, engineering and maths, and science, technology, engineering, arts and maths should make the foundation courses for the working class in the 4th Industrial Revolution. So most of the people should have at least maths and engineering till the 10th standard, and so that they can understand the coding, such as coding and small programming, and they could learn it fast. What should be the pedagogical approach in world of Education 4? It's not about you. Emotional intelligence supersedes individual brilliance. Learn in teams, grows in teams as teams. So you learn in teams and grow as teams. Creators shall inherit the future. Schools and institutions must pledge never to shoot down ideas. They should take up ideas immediately. Foster creativity by open-ended questions that take greater time to evaluate, but lead to true thinking and real innovations. I remember my Vice Chancellor at Delhi University just asked a few days back that what important 2 things you you want to develop in the university. I said you have two big opportunities. We have already given you the letter of intent for the 5 undergraduate programs in the online gazette. If you get them from the UGC and start them, you will be recognized world over and you can have global relevance. Number 2, innovations. You have Institute of Emergence, whereby you can start some innovative courses, innovative programs. For example, we have in our university more than 200,000 students above who get marks above 95% or 90% when they come to join Delhi University. I believe that if you ask them to do any kind of give innovative ideas for the benefit of the country or benefit of the education or benefit of the jobs, I think if they come up together, you give some award to them like a hackathon or another thing, you give them some award to them, they will definitely do wonders. And I tell you that you can have your own startups. And once you have your own startups, you need not ask money from the University Grants Commission or the ministry. I take education as a strategy. We should have Center of Excellence, global education, collaboration, networking, and experiential learning. These should be the 5 pillars of the education system in India. I will say that in the Center of Excellence, for example, Institute of Eminence, linked to the careers, and even in the online courses, link the education to the careers and improve the project work, case studies, and update the current material from time to time. There are many new kind of online education systems which have started now. One is the flipped classroom or the blended learning mode of online learning, whereby you have digital learning, pedagogy and material, especially like MOOCs. Now in the SWAYAM 2 program, you have 4 quadrants. SWAYAM programs, you have 4 quadrants, and you have all kind of chat, bot, whatever kind of collaborations are there. Group discussions can be held as we are looking and doing work over here. We can do a lot of things over here. The top companies I told you like edX, Udacity, they are working on the short-term courses. I know the faculty of India, especially the faculty in our university, Delhi University, and all over India, have at least specialization in their subjects, and they have lots of ideas in their subjects. If they bring out those ideas into innovations and into some new programs which are useful in 4th Industrial Revolution and start of their own short courses, I think the university will rise like anything, and there should be autonomy to the faculty people, members to do these kind of things. So once you have the network with alumni and companies, you build the relationships and you leverage the relationships, the success will be there. And finally, I will say that use methods used as globally acclaimed, case competitions, consulting field projects, simulations, on-campus online jobs, internships, all these things can be put in the continuous assessment, weekly continuous assessment systems like multiple choice questions, like short question answers, case competitions, consulting field studies, simulations, response to the cases, quizzes. All these can be turned in a weekly term. Actually, in the LOCF program, we wanted to take out from the teachers, faculty members, these things, so that they can develop an online system, so that the student, I don't believe in when you say 8 questions will come in the final exam and 5 questions you have to answer. That doesn't give that what student has experienced and what he has learned. If you have a weekly continuous assessment and you give a very little number of marks to the final program and give the programs based on more transparency on online systems, I think this is definitely going to take up the future of India in the online education. And the most important thing is that treat students as professionals. Allow the students to customize their curriculum. Think of students as your customers. Allow students to provide feedback on professors and curriculum. I will say that more continuous assessment is weekly continuous assessment should be given. The UGC, what they are doing nowadays is giving 30% to the continuous assessment and 70% to the main exams. I think it should be opposite, vice versa. The autonomy to the faculty member, to the student should be there, to the teacher should be there. At the online is a very transparent system, and you can develop that kind of dashboards for the learners, whereby everything, individual learners, as we have done it in School of Open Learning, that individual learners, each and everything from admission to examination and results is on his table on his website. Finally, I will say that when we update the curriculum, the courses should be tailored in just-in-time education. Just-in-time education, I mean that when, suppose today the demand of market, it should be based on the market system, and the short courses should be made in those courses, especially for Make in India, and it should be more autonomy to faculties and the new courses related to the fourth industrial revolution. I tell you one thing, nowadays most of the demand is raising for the liberal arts students. And if a liberal arts students have one programming out of the 17 easy programming systems, he gets a job of not 20,000 rupees, but a future job which I am talking about. So this is where the things are going to change. The whole gamut of industry is going to change. The actual many factories will close down with such features, and new factories or new kind of industry will emerge in this fourth industrial revolution system. This research, we should have strengthened the IPR system and the consultancy systems, innovation ecosystem, incubation and drive innovative societies by lifting research performance. We should have more global partnerships. The government has given few partnerships. I don't know whether they still exist like Gyan and Vajra. And there should be international outlook of our programs. And then finally, we should have networking with the alumni, as I already told, and networking with the social media, networking with the corporate social responsibility, multicultural networking, and alumni and industry networking. And then we should look at the career focus, that what job will be there for the students in future in the fourth industrial revolution. The focus on employability skills regionally, internship programs, case competition, on-campus and online jobs, new nano degrees, MOOCs, all these things will be the upgradation line for the future of Indian education. So the education is going to be now anywhere, anytime, seamless work and learning, as you have so many pages, all around. You have skills transfers from classroom to e-learning to mobile learning to ubiquitous learning, and the information of transfer of information and data analysis is what you need. And so this is all and the role of online teachers will be very important in that. They will have to facilitate and build an online community of learners, engage learners in a virtual environment through reflective and hands-on activities, analyze data to assist in individual instructions, personalize the learning through online discussion and group projects, differentiate instructions, develop and deliver asynchronous and synchronous lessons, and student activity integrity issues like plagiarism and safe and ethical issues should be taught to the students. And most importantly, they should work upon the WebEx tools, web teaching tools. You can see a lot of WebEx tools on the slideshare.com, and you can see how easily you can change the pedagogy, online pedagogy, with this kind of storytelling and kind of experiments, virtual lab experiments nowadays. There is a little, it should be the mind which is there, the senior people are there, they should give ideas to the younger people so that they can develop all these things smartly. And the most important thing for the online teachers, the support should be technology infrastructure, technical and administrative support, and education support. So, education 4, what I would say is the future of online education in India is how we develop new skills and unbundle education for employment of our young India in fourth industrial revolution. As the cost of online education is cheaper, availability of quality education can be developed, employability quotient can be developed, young population is there, more young population can go and work on this, the incomes can be disposable, internet penetration can move on, smart users base can develop, and government's digital initiatives can take place. And the onus will be totally on online pedagogy, education leadership, and faculty. I have great experiences with the School of Open Learning, where we developed the dashboards and lot of kind of e-resources like the e-digital library. People should visit that and see our digital library, and which is now being used by, I think there are more than 22 lakhs hits over there. And then also we have saved a lot of money in these years. When I joined School of Open Learning, we had 257 crores. Now we have about 600 crores of rupees. So, thank you very much to all of you. The online transition, admissions, courses, examinations, and personal contact programs, all this should be working well, I hope, in this country for future of online education in India. Thank you very much.